The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Floating high above Leicestershire County in the English Midlands, we look down at Donington Park, which today plays host to the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault 2.0 League. This 10-minute streamy award-worthy pre-race show will count us down to when the lights go off for round 2 of 12 on the Season 4 schedule. And all the racing action from both the 40-minute feature and the 25-minute sprint can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Top of the morning to you, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soups On. Helping me call the action is Richard Losper. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, with camera locations created for GSRC by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, Dougie Beard. Last week, Apex Online Racing debuted the second season for the fourth season of its Formula Renault 2.0 series right here on the Global Sim Racing channel. If you were with us from Watkins Glen, shame on you if you weren't. You saw two drivers rise above the rest to present themselves as the ones to beat for the championship. The checkered flag for the 40-minute feature race went to the defending champion, Uni, the Unit Silvasti. When the field was inverted for the 25-minute sprint that followed, a first-lap cold tire crash on the opening lap took out several of the drivers up front and made a path through the field a lot easier for the eventual winner, Jeroen Earthquakle. Real-world holiday responsibilities have forced a few of these drivers to cash in on one of the two drop event insurance, but one man who is not going to miss this event is my partner, Richard Losper.
Hi, Bill, and a very good day. Top of the morning, you said. I want to second that to all our viewers of this broadcast. So, let's talk about the track which they call Donington Park. Now, Donington was opened in 1931 to 1939. So we're talking about during the Second World War, or just prior to the Second World War, in fact. And then it was reopened again in 1977 by Tom Wheatcraft. And there's a corner on this track which is named after Tom Wheatcraft, called the Wheatcraft Straight. The national circuit is 3.1 kilometers, which is about 2 miles. When we say the national circuit, we mean that it is not the Grand Prix circuit, so that whole run down to the hairpin and back up again to turn number 1 is not a part of today's track. I won't bore you with all the names and all the corners at this stage. Let us go to a lap guide and have a look at what this track is all about, all 10 turns of this national Donington Park circuit.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Donington. Coming down to Redgate, this is one of the best passing opportunities you're going to get, so expect plenty of guys to try and attack here. This corner has a deceptively late entry though. Just clip it with a late apex and try to get on the power as soon as you know the car won't understeer off. Now we start to plunge downhill, and it's all about straightening out the crater curves as much as you can. Once you hit the bottom, hold to the left for the widest entry into the old hairpin. Some guys might try passes into here, but it's hard to get a clear shot of the inside. As you come off the corner, you'll be going under Starkey's Bridge and start to rise back uphill. Much like the old hairpin, McLean's requires you to hold left at the kink, but this time, the crest on the bend makes it hard to both spot and hit your apex. This mistake-inducing corner tends to set up some ambitious passes on the way up to Coppice, despite the short run. The crest right before the apex is going to make two wide situations tricky, and on top of that, this is really a double apex corner, which opens up in the latter half. On Starkey's Straight, keep to the left because the chicane goes the opposite way on the short version of the circuit. But be careful not to take too much of either curb because this low-slung Formula car does not play nice with them. However, as you come to the line, you've now finished the lap around Donington.
Amjad Yaman behind the wheel, Joe Peak behind the mic as they take us around the national circuit at Donington Park. So with one doubleheader event in the books, let's see how the points play out. With a win in the Watkins Glen feature and a second in the sprint, the laws of mathematics put privateer and defending champion Uni Silvassi on the top of the chart. But we're looking right now, we're not seeing Silvassi in the field today. But because of Origin Front Row Racing, Jeroen Kwekel's finish, he finished first in the sprint and third in the feature. By the time all the bonus points are added in, Earthquake only trails the unit by 2 points. Now, it was announced that holiday obligations would prevent Kwekel from racing today, but I look on there and sure enough, I see him out there. So we're not sure who's actually going to show up today. There was some debate on whether they were going to actually race this race because it's a couple days before Christmas. They decided to go forward with it, so we'll see who shows up. Now, Kwekel's teammate Dan Brewer went 4th and 3rd at the Glen, and that's enough to land him safely on the Lotus podium spot there. Adam Tierney did not podium in round 1, but a 7th and a 5th is enough to put the Quantum Motorsports driver in 4th. And then rounding out the overlay is Gunnar Nienhaus of Fusion Motorsports. He sits 5th, tied with privateer Christian Takech. Now, Nienhaus gets the nod on the overlay privileges thanks to his 2nd place finish in the round 1 feature. Moving to the team championships, things get a little sticky here. Sure, Origin Front Row Racing sits well out in front thanks to the success of Kwekel and Brewer. But again, both of those guys said they're not going to be here today, and Kwekel is here. So we're not sure how things are going to play out when everything is all said and done. It is my understanding that drop races do not apply in the team championship. Let's go ahead now and move down, look at the rest of those guys. You can see in the 2nd position, OFR takes a big hit in the points here after Donington if they don't have drivers show up. Now, let's go to an example of what the team championship is all about. Look at 2nd place, and that's Christoph Holstein. He sits 11th in the driver championship, but that contribution is enough when combined with Adam Tierney's 4th place points for Quantum Motorsports to go all the way up into 2nd. LM Rennsports, Fusion Motorsports, and North Atlantic Racing sit 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but only separated by a mere 4 markers. Again, holiday commitments will hurt several of those teams as well. All right, so Richard, we've reviewed round 1. We've introduced the track and gone over the driver and kind of worked our way the best we could through the team points. Let's go over the series and race details.
Certainly. So, this is season number 4, and we are racing round number 2 of a total of 12 events that will take place. That's actually 24 races we're talking about. You mentioned that they can drop 2 events, so they have a combined feature and a sprint total. And of course, the car that we're using here is the fabulous Renault 2, which has an engine of a 2-liter engine, 4-cylinder, 16 valve, naturally aspirated. Develops quite a bit of power, 210 brake horsepower at 7,500 RPM. The setups that they use here are open. They have a 40% fuel limit, which equals about 20 laps of fuel they can get into the tank. The format is, we mentioned, 2 races per event. There are 2 different winners. The first event is called the feature race, and then the second event called the sprint race. They have standing starts, so there's no time for them to heat up the tires with a pace lap. There are no fast we'll talk about the tires in a little while as well. There are no fast repairs. There is an incident cap. It does vary for the feature and the sprint race because they are different lengths. The weather is always dynamic, and it carries over, Bill, from a practice which they had a day or so before the actual races start. Let's now go into the event format. Bill, you want to talk about the format?
Sure, we'll bring this up. Now, Richard hinted a little bit at it. It's really neat. Right now, it's a 2-lap qualifying that's going on. They have 10 minutes. It's lone qualifying, so they have to put in a clean lap. That kind of shakes up how the qualifying sits. If you have an open qualifying that goes on for 40 minutes, pretty much you're guaranteed to see the front guys, the fast guys up there. But when it's only limited to 2 laps like they have right here, they have to make sure to get in out of one of those 2 laps, have to be clean. They can't get their car off into the sand, off too far over out of the track envelope there, or they will not get a time. Now, after they get that qualifying done, excuse me, we have the featured race here, and it's a 40-minute race. We're going to have limited fuel, so it's going to be 1 stop. It's a pretty large pit window. They'll grid this race sequentially, just like normal from how the qualifying goes. There is an incident cap. Now, if they get to 13x, they're going to lose half of their race points. So if you get to 13, instead of getting full points, you only get half for whatever you've done. 17, and sorry, you are DQ'd. You get no points. And these are the standard feature points. They're a little bit larger. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, the difference between the feature points and the sprint race points. After that's all said and done, then there'll be a break while the series organizers regrid, and they will invert all the drivers on the lead lap will invert they'll get gridded for the next race in invert position based on their finishing order of the feature race. So if you're a lap down, you're going to still be at the back. Basically, if you're the last car on the lead lap, you're going to be on the pole. And we saw that last week, and that is exciting. Now, that's going to be a 25-minute race. There's going to be no pit stops on that because it's short enough they won't need to stop for fuel. There is another incident cap, but this one 13x. You get to 13 and you are DQ'd. You get no points at all. And then the points that we're talking about, they're a little bit reduced for the 25-minute race. You get, I think, like 35 points for a win in the feature and only 20 points for a win in the sprint race. So it is exciting. It really does shake things up a little bit. Now, that'll be coming up pretty soon. But Richard, I want to talk a little bit. We in pre-race before we came on the air about what they call the sausage curves here at Donington.
Yeah, you need to be. They've got some high curbs, in particular through the chicane just at the end of the lap, turns 9 and 10. They've got these raised curbs. You'll see them. They're colored red. And this car does not like any open-wheel car going across those curbs, particularly on entry into the chicane bill. If you hit those curbs, what'll happen is it'll just throw the car off completely, and you will not be able to make the second part of the chicane, or maybe you'll struggle to make it. It can fling you off into the dirt on the right-hand side and possibly even into the wall. So the drivers are going to be really careful about that chicane in particular at this track.
Now, one of the things that the Global Sim Racing channel likes to do is we like to tailor our broadcast to the needs of a specific series. We're going to try something new that we've never done here at GSRC before. We're going to bookmark the start, and we're going to bring that to you on lap number 3. So we'll give the announcement right now that if the drivers could behave on lap number 3, we would appreciate it, because we're going to go back and review the start for you, kind of like they do on the Formula One broadcast in real world. So we'll see how they do. So if there's something exciting that happens while we're doing that recap of the start, well, we apologize if we missed that. Hey, let's update you here a little bit. We talked about some of the drivers that we're going to have to miss, and I'm telling you, it was big news that Jeroen Quakel was not going to be here. Well, he is here, but the big news is that we talked about it in the pre-race show a little earlier. Our winner, the points leader right now, is not going to be here. That's Jeroen. We call him the unit, Silvasti. But we talked about it, Richard. He's going to be able to drop. They get 2 drop events. So anything that would happen for him today, since he's not here, obviously he's going to drop this one. And everyone gets to do that twice out of the 12 races. So that makes it a little bit better. Otherwise, if you don't have those drop races, you end up with the winner being kind of the winner on best attendance.
Yeah. But having said that, 29 drivers have turned up for for this race, which is a pretty good turnout. And Bill, it looks to me like qualifying has just completed, so I guess we'd best hustle and get the names of the grid.
Let's do it. On the front row, it is Jeroen, the Earth Quakel. Here's a newcomer. He was around last season. Jean-Francois Godin is with us outside of row 1. Andy Cowie is going to be on the inside of 2. Outside of him, Renee Osterkamp. Third row is going to be made up of Hugo Prado, and Laurent De Rijk is going to be in the 6th position. Row 4, Jordi Lopez and Adam McGuire, and then 9th and 10th position go to Adam Tierney and Christian Tkach. Rich?
Right, and the next group, we've got Phil Reed and Tyler McLeod on row 6. Then we've got Evan Arti Imre and Yannick Nienhaus. They will be on row number 7. Then row number 8 is Patrick Kessler and Robert Plumley, as they are starting to grid now. And then we've got Knut Martensen and Luke White. That's 17 and 18. And 19 and 20 is Alexander Waldo and Manuel Hauer.
Hustle through these as quickly as I can, and then we'll call the grid. We look at 20th position, Lee Robinson and Stephen Cager. The next row is going to be made of Stephen Chambers and Christoph, last but not leaster. Jarno Hertz is going to be in the 25th position. 26 goes to Odd James Villeman in 26 there. Row 14 is made up of Dylan Hember and Silvio Hurt. And the final driver here, 29, is Gunnar Nienhaus. Must not have been able to get in a qualifying time because Gunnar is faster than that. Looks like all the drivers are out there right now.
Yeah, still a few to come, but they're starting to rev up, Bill.
You can hear the engine start to harmonize. Our temperature today, it's clear, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temperature is 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I apologize, my timing is in Fahrenheit. You European drivers, you can do the calculations yourself.
24 degrees.
There you go. Thank you, Richard. They start to harmonize. You can hear those engines. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And out in front, leading the way into the first corner, it's not surprising. It is going to be our pole sitter, Jeroen Kwikkel. Second position. Go ahead, Rich.
I'm looking from way back in 10th place with Christian Tkach, and he started off in 10th position. He's lost a place there, but at the moment, first lap, we spoke about cold tires. We can see one off the track.
Jordi Lopez went a little bit light. He's going to lose a lot of positions right now as he's being gobbled up. Lopez drops back into 8th position. He's in a battle right now. Right behind him is Osterkamp. Great battle going on for about 8th, 9th, and 10th right now.
Yeah, and everybody careful. And there is a spin and contact. Accident just took place there in turn number 8, I want to say.
Lopez involved also. I think Ty McLeod got caught up in that one. My goodness, there is a pinata full of bees back there in about 21st position. As they work their way through the chicane for the very first time, they're able to negotiate that. Relatively clean other than that little bit of bumping that went back on the back half of the track as they come around completing lap number 1. It is your pole sitter out in front, and that is Jeroen Kwikkel. In second is the milkman, Andy Cowie. Third position is Jean-Francois Godin. He's a veteran of the series. He missed the opening round, but good to welcome him back right now. Fourth position, Hugo Prado, and rounding out your top 5, Lawrence de Rijk.
Yeah, and they're all single file at the moment. Next best after the right, we've got Adam Maguire and Adam Tierney. Phil Reed I'm driving with. He is currently in 8th position, and they come up the hill there and they take the right-hander, and they will run down the straightaway as yes, there's a little bit of a bobble there in front of Phil Reed. That was Adam Tierney and Phil Reed, and Adam Tierney now side by side as they go into the chicane. Very risky, and Tierney actually makes good the overtaking maneuver and moves up 1 position.
And now we're going to go back to the start. I can go ahead and update you that Osterkamp had to bring the car back into the pits after the incident he had on the back half of the track. Look at those tires as they smoke away from the start. They're coming right at you. We look here from high above. You can see that the pole sitter got out in front. That was Kwikkel. It was nice and clean through the very first corner. It was when they got into the back here, and maybe we can go back and look at, we're going to look at Lopez right now from the accident that he had on lap number 1. Now look at them all bottled up here. Osterkamp was also involved in this one as well. We're on board right now, I believe. Is this Lopez we're riding with? Yes, it is. There you can see him getting loose, and I believe that's Osterkamp. He gets into the side of there. Lopez came out the best of it. So, we would like to thank all the drivers who did a good job of staying clean on lap number 3 as we got that start in for you.
That was very good. I like that new feature there, Bill, and it does bring that first lap into reality. Now, we spoke about cold tires. All the accidents that we had there in the first lap, I think were due, you can almost say with certainty, to cold tires. The tires should just about be coming to operating temperature now, Bill, and the grip should come in. Remember, it's very cool here, 24 degrees Celsius on the track. So that makes it something like, well, I can tell you exactly. It actually makes it 19 degrees, the air temperature. That's cold.
Yes, indeed. We're looking at this battle right now for 4th place. It is Hugo Prado. He's a newcomer to the series, being challenged by a veteran, Lawrence de Rijk. Now, that's a battle for 4th. Right behind them, what we call the popcorn position, is another newcomer, Adam Maguire, looking at those guys ahead, trying to figure out a way around. That is a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th right now.
Yep, and they go through the chicane. They're going to start another lap here, lap number 4. And our leader still, Jeroen the Earthquake, Quakel, Andy Cowie, who from last week, we remember, I think he started on pole in the second race at Watkins Glen. He's in second place here, and that's a great showing from him. Then we've got a newcomer, Jean-Francois Godin, and then Hugo Preto, as you spoke of. So third and fourth are very close to each other. Big battle
Let's
going
go to
on there.
18th right now, if we can. This is a battle going on here by Christoph Leister. He's in a battle with White, who gets a little bump. Here comes Ty McLeod through. My goodness, that's McLeod in the middle there in that kind of dark-colored orange and black machine. The two white cars out in front. That's Leister running in 18th position, McLeod in 19th in the middle, and Luke White back there in 20th. Great battle going on back in the farther back in the field.
Okay, and lots of battles going on. Let's go to Christian Tkach, who's in a battle here with the car in front of him, which is Adam Tierney. As they come now to the chicane, they will start a new lap, lap number 5. Tkach trying. He was a lot closer there to Adam Tierney. A little gap just broke open there as they finished off the lap number 5. Now they're on lap number 6, and he's Tkach closing up. Tkach, Bill, very exciting driver to watch.
Oh yeah,
we found out last week.
In the very first round, he got in trouble on the very first lap, got knocked way back into the back of the field, made a great run through the field, and was exciting to watch. Right now, he is running in 9th position, as Richard said, just behind Adam Tierney, who also had a great run. We're looking at the 4th position right now. Look at this battle going on there. Actually, now up in front, that's Lawrence de Rijk getting passed by Hugo Fredo. These guys have been going at it the whole time. Rijk falls back into 5th position. Woo.
And behind them, Bill, battle as well. Behind them, we've got Maguire there. We got Phil Reed. They are side by side at the moment. They're going to head down towards the chicane there to finish up lap number 6. And Phil Reed actually backs out of that one. A wise decision there.
Now, Richard, you and I have little experience on this particular layout. We're looking at a battle here. Tierney in 15th position had a spin. He spun just in front of Tkach. If we want to go on board after, Tkach would probably be the one we'd like to see this one. Watch Tierney here as he just loses it all by himself. Nobody helping him.
And let's do that quickly because there's a battle here with Phil Reed. Phil Reed and on board with Phil at the moment I am. And he's given up.
We're not going to get that one. We're going to go back live. We don't want to spend too much time on the replay. We'll look at that a little bit later if we can, but meanwhile we can say that Tierney has dropped back to 17th position. We're looking at Reed right now, running in 6th position. This is this area we've been watching the whole time, Rich. This is probably the best race out here. Look at Maguire running in 5th. Reed trying to find his way around. Now, we were talking about it. They're coming up on what I think is probably the best passing spot, is to duck to the the right-hand side, camera left, and there you go. You can see Reed get that done on that final chicane.
Yeah, you basically have to back out if you're on the outside heading into the chicane.
Maguire is in trouble. Maguire's coming in. Might be a little early for the pit stop, only 10 minutes in, but Maguire comes in. Did he have trouble, or is this scheduled?
Probably a schedule. You may be doing the early peel, as you like to say, Bill.
What I think might have been happening, it's probably within the window. He's saying, you know what, I don't like battling with all this stuff going on. It's slowing me down. Let me come in, get farther behind. I'll work some hot laps on my own. Sure, I'll have to deal with some guys who are at the back of the pack, but that's probably going to be less time-consuming than having to deal with those guys who are fighting for position. So, let's keep an eye on Adam Maguire. My dad used to call it the early peel, late reveal. They peel off early, and what's revealed later is, hey, where did that guy come from as he takes the checkered flag? Adam Maguire in 26th.
Meanwhile, our leader, let's go back to our leader. He is Jeroen Quakel. He's leading by a very good 2.5 seconds, Bill, from Andy Cowie. And Andy is doing a great job here to be in second place. Then third place, so that second place is under threat at the moment from the third place getter, which is Jean-Francois Godin. And he's looking like he's just holding station at the moment, but he could pounce at any moment and try and take that second place away from Andy Cowie.
Lawrence de Rijk had issues. Let's see if we can find out. I think it just happened. Looking for it right now. Oh my goodness, he got off. He got clipped. He got punched by Christian. Oh, you know, it wasn't Christian's fault. Christian is involved in this one. De Rijk got loose right in front of Christian. We look there at Lawrence right now. Watch him get loose, and poor Tkach had nowhere to go. I think both those drivers are going to probably need some repair.
Yeah, and Lawrence de Rijk's in the pits at the moment, so he's taken these fresh tires, taken a bit of fuel, and now he's just sitting there waiting for the repairs to take place.
Let's go to P2. Look at this as they come across the start-finish line, working on the outside, and I think he's going to get this done. Francois Godin. Now, Godin is a veteran of the series. He didn't make the debut race for Season 4, but welcome back right now. He's worked his way up to second position, got around Andy. Last race I called him the Dairy Cow. He didn't like that one. Suggestions came in. We're naming him the Milkman because he delivered. So Andy Cowie right now running in third position.
And for you viewers, I want to tell you, you need to get used to Bill Subzan. He loves his nicknames, so we are going to have to find nicknames for everybody. We've already got one for Jeroen Kwekel. We've got one for Uni Silvasti, and now he's trying to measure up the others for their nicknames.
Sometimes they like them, sometimes they don't. Here's somebody who did adopt one. Let's go to 8th position. This is Knut Martinsen. We call him Kmart. Running back there in 8th position, having a good run. Running right behind 7th is Evan Emre. And also
Bill,
in there as well as Pascal Lessler.
Bill, let me break in. Let's go back there. Christian Tekax, and he was just overtaken by Robinson and had to back out a little bit. You're getting some information which I didn't
Phil in
hear. Go
9th
ahead.
position. Phil Reed looped it around. Did a nice job of doing a 180 and getting it back on track. So he was running, I think, about 6th of the time. He's fallen back to 8th. Watch this, though. Richard is not so much the spin, but watch how quickly he gets his car turned around. That's a little Danny Sullivan. Gets it right back out there. Does a donut. Only loses about 3 spots. Good job from Phil Reed.
Yeah, he got lucky there, and he kind of did a 360 and got back on the gas and was okay. No damage as well, which is very important. Now, let's go up near to the front again. I want to just check in on Andy Cowie. It looks like Godin has passed him, and that's no longer a battle. 4th place here is Prato, and he's a way back behind the rest of them. And Quiet as well for 5th place. So no battles going up near the front. Back to you, Bill.
Well, since things are settling down a bit, why don't we take a second to run through the field? Richard, keep an eye out for incidents. Yell at me if something happens. Your leader, Jeroen Kwekel, up in front by about 4.3 seconds. 2nd place, he's a-coming. Jean-Francois Godin running in 2nd right now. He's got about 1.5 second lead over Andy, the Milkman Cowie, who's got about 3.5 seconds back to Hugo Prato, a newcomer into the series. Welcome here, Hugo. 5th position right now is Patrick Kessler. Now, Kessler is in a little bit of a battle from Evan Emre. These guys are battling for 5th position right now. Emre trying to get around him. We drop back a little bit farther. Another little battle between Kmart and Gunnar Nienhaus. Nienhaus started in 29th position, is up 19 spots. What a great run for him. We'll keep an eye on Nienhaus. Let's stay on this a little bit. I think Nienhaus is about to get Kmart here.
Yeah, and looks as if de Rijk has called it a day, Bill. Not seeing him in the race, and in fact, I'm not seeing him in the simulator anymore. So he might have called it a day. A couple of guys in the
and there goes the passes. Gunnar gets around, moves up to 7. We talked about Gunnar early. Must not have had a great qualifying. Not able to get in a clean lap as he moves up. Let's drop a little bit farther back. 9th position, Phil Reed. He announced that he wasn't going to be able to be here today because of holiday commitments to the family. Well, he lied to us. Welcome here, Phil, as you're running in 9th right now. 10th position, Robert Sugar Plumley, and a little bit of a battle ahead. Oh, look at this. Look at 11th right now. This is Ty McLeod being challenged by Lee Robinson. Let's stay on this for a little bit.
Yep. Lee Robinson and Tyler McLeod. There we got a car out in the weeds there. That's who was that?
That's Sugar Plumley going out there testing a little bit of this English alfalfa, seeing what it's like. He brings it back in at 12th position. He's going to lose 2 more spots. Going around him right now is this battle for 12th is Stephen Chambers, and Adam Tierney gets around him as well. Sorry, Stephen Chambers. I apologize.
Yeah, this track can get you so easily. Luckily, Bill, there's lots of runoff everywhere, or almost everywhere, for the drivers to take advantage of so that they don't get any damage. Damage will come possibly from guys hitting each other. So Plumley now in, we want to say he's in a battle there just behind guys. That's Adam Tierney who's trying to make a move now as they go down towards turn number 1. In front of him, there's Stephen Chambers. He hasn't tried the move. He's trying, but he can't make it stick. And Chambers staying ahead of him. This is a genuine battle here for position. Adam Tierney and Stephen Chambers, they go down towards the old hairpin, as they call it. They take that turn to the right there, and now they head up the hill. And still there is there's a challenge again from Tierney, but he can't get it done. Good racing right here, and Chambers managing to stay ahead.
We'll keep an eye on that battle because I think it's going to be a pass. Well, let's stay on a little bit. It looks like a pass coming right here before we leave. I want to go up to 4th position in a minute, but not right till this gets settled. We'll give them a few more couple corners to see if they can get this done. I want to talk about what's going on with Emre right now in 6th and Gunnar Nienhaus, who's making a run. Let's go ahead up there right now because I think this is going to heat up. 6th position. This is Evan Emre. Why do I think we're going to see this pass pretty soon? Because Gunnar is on the move. Nienhaus has come from 29th position. He's up to 7th. He's going to see if he can work around Evan here. Gunnar find them. There it is. He ducks to the inside and gets another spot. He's got places to go. Up to 6th.
That was a good job in a very tough turn there. That's the old hairpin. Very difficult to negotiate without still trying to fend off an overtaking car, and that was a great job there. But Gunnar Nienhaus, so he moves ahead there of Imre, and now he can set his sights on the car in front of him now, which is Patrick Kessler. And that is Nienhaus there in about, where's that, 15th position?
Nienhaus is up to 6th. Yes, he's got Kessler's ahead of him now in 5th. Now remember, these guys. Oh, and here comes Kessler. Peels off. I think he saw the writing on the wall that Gunnar was going to get him. I'll get out of here before I have to deal with this guy who's making his way through the field. So Gunnar works his way now up to 5th thanks to the pit stop. Kessler overshoots his pit stall. And what we're going to
have to do a bit of reversing going on there.
What we like to do right now, let's pick up Adam Maguire. Why do we want to talk about Maguire? Well, right now he's currently running in 18th position, but he's just going to cross the start-finish line, and he's going to get out ahead of Kessler. So Maguire remains the driver who is the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Keep an eye on Maguire. Don't forget about him.
And the pit stops are very short
they are.
In these cars. So it's only like 2.5, 3 seconds. That's all it takes to pit, and that includes taking all 4 tires. So very short pit stops here. They get a dump of fuel. Let's stick with Patrick Kessler as he's trying to make a move here on is that Kagera, and then there's another car. Yes, they go in side by side, but he gets the job done. So good job there from Kessler. It picks up a position. He's been in the pits.
And look at this for P7. This is Phil Reed. He's a former champion. He just made the pass on Kmart. Kmart drops back to 8th position. Phil moving up to 7th. Reed started in 11th, has picked up 4 spots. A nice run from the former champion. The only driver who won in this series used to run in the Pro Mazda car, and then they switched over. Oh, we have a spin. Gunnar has looped it and spun. All by himself.
Brings it back on, Bill. He's back on the track now, but that was a self-spin there, as we say, and that will lose him a number of positions. In fact, he's back to 10th place from 6th to 10th now.
But he didn't hit anything as we're going to go on board, and I hope you took your Dramamine because this one's going to get a little dizzy as he moves this car around about 720.
There was a car in the weeds there. That was Adam Tierney. As the two of them now, while we're watching the replay of the previous event, he's in another battle here with Adam Tierney now, Gunnar Nienhaus.
Gunnar Nienhaus. My goodness, he started in 29th. Like Sisyphus in high heels, he's making his job harder than it needs to be, pushing that boulder up the hill. He's got to try it one more time. He worked his way from 29th all the way up to, I think, about 5th. Now he's back to 9th again.
Yeah, Bill, the thing is, there are a lot of very fast corners on this track. And some of them are deceptive because they suddenly tighten up on you. And I think some of the guys getting caught out by that. And of course, then you've got that high curbs on the chicane there, which can throw cars off as well. But if you're under attack into some of these really fast corners, it's difficult to maintain momentum. And sometimes you just get out in the weeds.
Looking at P5 right now, this is former champion Phil Reed. He's worked his way from 11th up to 5th position. He's ahead right now of Evan Emre, but Emre trying to find a way around as they go into turn 1. Not going to happen. Reed sitting up there in 5th, defending off the guy he just got around. Evan Emre back to 6th position. These guys have to get going. Let's see how far it is back to... Well, McLeod is back there in 8th. How far back until we get to Nienhuis? Here comes Nienhuis running in 9th position. He's got a ways to go. You know, Richard, we talked about how fast the pit stops are. In full disclosure, I had to make a comment in the forums that I was unprepared for how quick they are. I do so many GT3 races where the pit stops are so long. In here, they are blindingly fast. Come in, get your fuel, get your tires, and you're gone before you can say Jiminy Cricket.
That's right. It's only a couple of seconds. Now, let's just set the scene here. So our leader is Jeroen Kwekel. He's got now a nice lead over the second place getter, who is Jean-Francois Godin. And that's 8.5 seconds. So that's a really good lead. And we're on lap 20. They've done about half of the race at this point in time. Third place is still Andy Cowie. So he's a long way back. He's 10 seconds or 2 seconds off from Gondin or Godin. I'm not quite sure of the exact pronunciation. We'll have to find out for the next race. Hugo Preto is in 4th place, and he's not that far behind third. No, that's a lap car. That I was going to say, Bill, that there might be a challenge, but that's not the case.
Let's go to 16th position right now. This is a battle between Alexander Valdo making a move to the inside into turn 1, not going to do it. This is Patrick Kessler. Kessler, if you remember, I believe was the pole sitter last time for the sprint race at Watkins Glen. What these guys want to do, they are still on the lead lap. They're running 17th and 16th and 17th right now. They want to be... You want to be the last car on the lead lap. You do not want to be lapped. If you get lapped, and here comes Kessler trying to make the move on Valdo. Valdo's going to give him room. No, I got a bad feeling about this one. Kessler going back and forth, working to the right, working to the left, both sides of the street, like a jaywalking mailman trying to find his way around Valdo.
Meanwhile, Christian Tkach sitting in the pits there, Bill, and sitting there for a long time.
Right.
So
well, if you remember,
wrong for them.
Tkach got into that crash with De Rijk, so I think that was going. Tkach was falling back, losing lots of positions. I think he's just out there trying to get the most points he can right now.
Yeah, he's had some repairs done. He's coming back onto the track now, and we're getting information. Go ahead there.
Looking at a battle here for 15th position. This is Kessler finally got that past him. We were watching that battle between Kessler and Valdo. Finally, Kessler gets around him. Well, I don't want to speak too early, but now he can pick him up and put him down. Looks like Kessler has the pace to leave Valdo behind. Alexander back into 16th position. Patrick up to 15th. 17 cars on the lead lap right now. The last car on the lead lap looking to start on the pole is Stephen Chambers. Oh, I apologize, because by the time I got that sentence done, Jeroen Kwekel got around him. So, Stephen Chambers now in 17th is now the lead car, 1 lap down compared to being the last car on the lead lap. Why is that such a big difference between 17th position? Well, my goodness, he's going to start, instead of being on the pole, he's going to start back in 17th for the sprint race.
Yep, and that is very important because it makes a big difference, as we saw last week. Starting from pole position can make all the difference to your point count for the day. But let us say now that we have got, let's see, 16 cars on the lead lap, and then starting with Stephen Chambers, there's a lap down as well. So lots to fight for here in this race. Bill, these guys will also have to think about the incident count. I have noticed a lot of guys picking up incidents, or what looks to me like incidents, as they negotiate some of these really fast turns. So some guys might have to lift a little bit just to make sure they stay inside the incident count. Back to you.
As we look at P12 here, a little bit of a battle was this last but not leaster. Yeah. And they're coming in. This was a battle here between Miguel Hauer and Leister. They were really going at it. One of them finally peeled off. And Manuel Hauer, I guess, cannot find his stall. Doesn't know where to go. He's backing up. He kind of parallel parked it back. Looked like my 15-year-old niece learning to parallel park. She banged it into the lamppost, and that's what Hauer did. Also now, and that also was a problem then for the guys who came in later. Valdo came in and had trouble finding his spot as well. There's some real confusion going on in there.
Well, let's go up to Tyler McLeod, or Ty McLeod. We have got here a battle looming up here. There's Knut Martinsen just ahead of McLeod, and then in front of them, there's Stephen, he's a lap car, but here's a battle looming between those two, McLeod and Martinsen, Bill.
Absolutely, and while we watch this battle, I just want to remind you again, don't forget about Adam Maguire, currently running in 13th position on the lead lap, but he's made his stop, assuming that he stopped early, late enough that he can go the distance there. Hopefully he stopped in his window. I would assume that he would, as we ride on board right now with 8th position, riding on board with Ty McLeod, looking ahead of Kmart. And now in there also, this is 20th, that's Steve Cager, who has been lapped, I believe. Cager lets those two drivers around.
Yep, they are in a genuine battle here as they finish off lap number 23 and go into 24.
All right.
Ty McLeod behind at the moment. He's in 8th place.
All right, Evan Emre is in. This is the first of our really guys who are running up front. Evan is in. What I want to do right now is see if we can pick up Maguire and see how he is. Oh, Maguire is way back. He's only working his way through the chicane right now. I believe Emre is going to get out in front.
Here comes the move from McLeod, and looks like he might get it done. Knut gave up timely there a little bit, I thought, and McLeod moves forward.
And we look at that right now. We'll watch on that replay. I'll just update you that Emre did get out in front, but only by 1 second over Adam Maguire. Watch this on replay here.
Yeah, good overtaking maneuver. Really good one there. On the inside, gets the job done without too much hassle.
Impressively done.
On the outside, actually, into the right-hander there, Bill. So that's a great job.
Oh. And now we're looking here at Quakel. Our leader has come in and gone out. He's made that stop. Is that what I'm hearing from our director? The Quakel has made a stop? Okay, and so he's currently falling down into 4th position. But he's the leader of all the cars who've pitted. I want to quickly run you back to Emre right now. Currently running in 11th overall. He came out just ahead of Adam Maguire, so this is a battle for a spot. And this will pick up Emre now up to 10th, so some of the cars in front of him have to come in and make that stop.
Now, Bill, this is where it starts to get really interesting. Jeroen Quakel has made his pit stop, and he was in lead. He was a P1 at the time. Ahead of him now, there are 3 drivers.
And our leader coming in right now. Sorry to interrupt you. Jean-Francois Gaudin coming in right now. Of course, he inherited the lead as soon as Earthquake came in.
And the other 2 are pitting as well, Bill. So everyone doing their pit stops now. I was going to talk about Cowie right there, but now we should see. Is that Cowie? Has he come out in front of Quakel? Oh, he hasn't pit yet. So Andy Cowie is the only one who still needs to make his pit stop, Bill.
The Milkman making a late delivery right now as he is out in front. Remember, we saw him do really well in the sprint race back at Watkins Glen. He's up in the points, hoping to have a good finish here today. Currently running first. How long can he run? The bottles are dry. He's going to need to come in pretty soon.
Yep, and he's going to have to take a sip of the well, it's not going to be cow's milk, that's for sure, that he needs to take a sip of to get his car going again. Now, is he going to make the pit stop now? He comes to the chicane. Will he head into the pits? He does indeed.
As he comes in. While he makes that pit stop, we'll focus on him. Let's stay on him for a minute and we'll see how he fares, because usually I would talk about something else, but these pit stops are so fast. He comes in. It looks like getting out in front of him. That's a car that's a lap down. That was Leister coming out. Let's go ahead and focus on Callie.
Interesting, Bill, that he's done his pit stop, no tires. He didn't take tires at all. Now, we understand that this car is pretty light on tires. Like, it doesn't use the tires up.
Let's look at Hugo Prego right now in 5th position. He's not going to get to Cowie. Cowie's going to cycle out in 4th. Godin, we'll find out the pronunciation for that French name, running in 2nd position right now. Cowie's going to be in 3rd. Let me correct myself. Cowie's in 3rd, Godin in 2nd, and of course, our leader is long gone, and that's Quakel.
Yeah, and all the pit stops are happening now. Ty McLeod just came in and did his pit stop immediately. He's off track with cold tires and gets back on the track again. They're just gone a little wide. So now everything, it looks to me like there's no more pit stops to be made here. Jeroen Quirkel back in front again.
As we look at this battle here for 6th position.
Oh, somebody's
And
off. No,
and
no, he's
McGuire
back on again.
McGuire has made the pass. Remember, we talked about McGuire came out behind Emery. Well, now he's got around. Let me correct now we're looking here. Let me update you. This is Reed running in 5th position, McGuire in 6th, and Emery now in 7th. Also in the mix. Hello, I'm back. Look who's running in 7th. That's Gunnar Nienenhaus.
McGuire going back into the pits here, Bill.
Yeah, we worried about that.
Well.
Oh, look at the car going off. Totally missed his braking zone. Hits the wall hard as Evan Emery had to be a mechanical problem there, hardware issue.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
He's stuck between the tire wall and the fence, Bill.
And his engine is still
down.
running. If you stay on this, you can see that his rear wheel is running at full throttle. If my 93-year-old mother-in-law is watching at home, remember Mama Jean, this is all simulated. He is fine. Look at this camera angle from Amjad Yaman. That's incredible. Look at that camera angle as he goes across the wall. I think the sim has crashed. The car is still sitting there parked. I'm not sure if he's even going to be able to exit out.
And the engine has come to a stop now. So, wow, what an unusual event. We don't see this sort of thing often, Bill.
No, my goodness. Put the hammer in the oven because the camel has learned to read. I don't know what I just saw there, but that was something else. I want to drop you back to 16th position real quick. Robert Plumley, actually, no, 14th position. Plumley is the last car on the lead lap. And why is this important? Because right now he is poised to sit on the pole. Oh, look at this, a spin right in front of him. That's Lee Robinson.
And McGuire was involved there as well, coming back on the track now. Looks like the wheels are falling off, rhetorically speaking, Bill.
Yeah, if we can find out what happened to Lee Robinson, that's just a self-spin. Nobody made him bleed his own blood there. He just looped around right in front of everybody. Getting around him was Stephen Chambers. Luke White did a good job of getting around him. Then we talked about Plumley, who had to take evasive action into the English fescue there, but he was able to get that done. Plumley picks up a position now, running in 13th spot.
And you know what, Bill? Quakel is he's just making every post a win at the moment, leading by 10 seconds. He's looking at a couple of cars ahead of him, Lee Robinson and, of course, Adam McGuire as well. And why is that important? If he passes them, they don't get to be in the front of the pack when the next race starts.
They are sweating bullets right now. McGuire, who's using this unique two-stop strategy, that had to be a miscalculation on his part. Running in 14th, he's able to get around Lee Robinson. Lee was saying, oh, I'm in good shape, no problem. I'll be starting up front in the sprint race. I'm doing nicely, John, till he had that spin. And now he actually brakes and lets the leader around him. So the Earthquake gets around Robinson. Robinson now the lead car, one lap down. Uh-oh, I don't think McGuire's going to be able to hang on, Richard, for the next 6 minutes.
Yeah, we've got 6 minutes left in the race, so we've got an interesting situation here where our leader, Jeroen Quakel, forget about him losing the race. He's leading by 11 seconds, and with 6 minutes left, he could win and win easily. But ahead of him is a driver called Adam McGuire. And Adam desperately does not want to be overtaken here, Bill, because that's going to put him off. At the moment, he's sitting on pole position.
He is. And remember, when we brought this issue up, we talked about Sugar Plumley there, who was running in 14th. Well, now he's got a little bit of a buffer between him there with McGuire on that two-pit strategy. Hey, let's drop this real quick. I'm going to leave that for a minute. Let's go to 5th position. Here he is again, Gunnar Nienhaus. I think he got up to 5th before he had that issue early, and he's run down now Phil Reed, the former champion. This is a battle for points here.
Yeah, Gunnar Nienhaus, a very good driver, as indeed is Phil Reed in front of him now. This is a battle here, genuine battle here for the 5th position. Phil Reed and Gunnar Nienhaus, and they've got the same colors. I want to say they're teammates.
Yeah,
Bill.
let's bring up... maybe we can, Director, can you switch over to the team there? We're looking at it right now. They're Fusion Motorsports. Director, reading my mind. both drivers. Remember, this is great for Fusion. They will score big here if they can follow up this with a nice race in the sprint race. So these guys, Richard, I think are probably going to be pretty friendly to each other negotiating around this spot.
Yeah, I was just looking at the color scheme, so it's the same here. So Nienhuis not going to be overly anxious to force any issues with Phil Reed. They are sitting in a really handy positions at the moment, 5th and 6th. Now let me just go and have a look. In front of Reed, we've got, that's a slower car in front of him, way back down there, laps and down, so there's no battle there. But let's just stay on this and see if Nienhuis wants to take that position away from his teammate Reed, or whether in fact he's just going to sit behind him as they go to complete lap number 33 with very few minutes left in this race.
And I can announce we don't need to go there, but Adam McGuire lost that spot to Quakel. So Quakel now next on the hit list. He's about a corner away, maybe about 25 car lengths. Robert Plumley. You know, one of the things I've realized about this is a certain dynamic to the format that they have here is when Plumley right now, who's next to be lapped, usually we, as a card-carrying member of Backmarker United, we would say, let the leader go by. You're not racing for anything. But in this series, there is a real advantage to being on the lead lap. So, you know, when
Yes.
Quakel comes around, I'm not so sure how polite some of these guys are going to be to give this lap up, especially with only 3 minutes to go. As we still ride, we look there at Plumley running in 13th right now. There's your leader,
Yep.
Quakel. You can see them both on the screen. Go ahead, Rich.
Well, let's spare a thought for our second place getter at the moment, who's Jean-Francois Godin. I love the name. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly. He is 12 seconds behind Jeroen Quakel, but he is sitting in a very safe second place at the moment, as indeed is Andy Cowie, who's sitting in 3rd place. So that's your top 3. That's the podium at the moment. Doesn't look like, I speak too soon. Prato is closing on Cowie, so this could be a battle for 3rd place.
Let's go to Cowie right now. This is interesting. He's in a battle. He's trying to get around Christoph, last but not Leister here. Leister also in a battle with the guy up ahead, Alexander Valdo. So Leister lets him around, but Cowie has, like Richard said, has places to go because Prato is beginning to close on him.
That is correct. And driving along with Prato at the moment, the gap between Prato and Cowie is about 2.1 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a biggish gap. And there's very little time left, so Prato will have to hurry it up if he's want to make a move and get on that podium.
Oh, fans of the Sugar Plum will be sad to hear that Robert is not going to finish on the lead lap as the earthquake has got around him. Oh my goodness, let's go to 11th position right now. This is a battle between Chambers and White. These guys better be careful because while they're fighting with each other, they're going to end up losing a lap to Jeroen Quakel, who's coming up on him. White now, this is White leading ahead of Stephen Chambers.
Yeah, and it's a good battle. It's a genuine battle for position. So Chambers wants to stay ahead of White as far as is humanly possible, but looks like he's lost the position already. And they go to complete lap number 34, going to 35. And the battle is still on. Stephen Chambers behind, and just in front of him is Luke White. So this is a battle there for what is the 11th position.
And I believe as our leader came across with 39 minutes and 10, with only 10 seconds really to go, I believe there's going to be the white flag lap. It looks like the two partners have worked it out. Nienhuis was able to get around Reed, so Nienhuis Gunner up to 5th. Phil Reed back into 6th.
Bill, I don't think that's the white flag lap. There's still just under 2 minutes to go in this race, so
you know
there's
what?
enough time for them. Yeah, they will get another lap. The next lap will be the white flag lap.
Yep, I looked at the wrong number here on my timing and scoring. That's absolutely right. I forgot that it takes into account the time on the grid. So the one you see up there, 1:42 to go, that's the actual time. My apologies. Thank you, Richard. That's why there's 2 of us here.
Bill, let's just say this now. It doesn't look as if Prato has got anything for Cowie. Cowie has responded once he got past that back marker, and I think he's got enough of a lead to stay ahead.
Let's go to 11th position then, because this is a battle that might become academic. These guys are fighting. This is up in front in the white car. That is White. That seems appropriate. Back there behind is Stephen Chambers. I apologize, Stephen, for that. I'll get that right, buddy. But here he comes. That's the leader right behind you, Jeroen Quakel, trying to get around these guys, and I think there's going to be, look at that, Chambers lets him go. That's good sportsmanship there.
It is, and he's just lost pole position for the next race.
Yep. Let's see
and
how...
it looks like White might have the same, because there's all kinds of things involving White now. We're coming up to the white flag lap. We've got Luke White in front of our leader, Jeroen Quakel, as they head down. And White gives that up there as well to Quakel. Here comes Quakel on what we think is going to be the white flag.
White flag this time.
Yes,
by.
it is.
And I bet you Luke White preferred my timing and scoring system, but it really wouldn't have mattered as Quakel was able to get that spot done. So what does that mean? Let's see who's the last car. Adam Tierney. We go to P5 right now. Tierney's the last car on the lead lap. Look at this battle between these teammates. Reed is back out in front of Nienhuis. We thought, oh no, Gunnar has spun. Gunnar spun from behind. It looks like, is he going to be able to get back out? I think he's only going to lose no positions, actually. I think
he's not going to lose any positions. He had enough, but the closing is full. Well, Knut Martensen, he's got enough of a lead. He's going to finish.
Let's go back to the leader now. As he's working his way. Look at this. As we see it, there he is. Look at that Dougie Beard camera shot, that long distance shot. You see him leading those two cars. Now that low angled shot. Now he's going to turn, come right at you. That is Jeroen Earthquake. Jeroen Earthquake wins the feature race, round number 2 here at Donington Park.
By 15 seconds, no less.
Let's give a little love to a guy who had a very quiet second. Go ahead, Richard. You say his name better. Second position goes to
Jean-Francois Godin.
I like that much better. I think you're much closer at it than me. The Milkman. He delivers a third place finish. Hugo Prato's going to get 4th. And rounding out the top 5 is Phil Reed. Let's go ahead. We'll stay on Phil here for a minute. Remember, he was in that battle. He working that final chicane. Maybe, Director, we can get all the cars on the lead lap finishing across here. Gunnar Nienhuis comes across in 6th. We haven't heard much from Knut. Kmart coming across in 7th. Just a bit ahead of Ty McLeod. Wow. Patrick Kessler, a very quiet 9th position for him. And who are we going to see on the pole when we come back? Well, it's going to be our 10th place finisher, Adam Tierney. He's good news and bad news. He's excited to finish last car on the lead lap, but that does put the pressure on him a bit.
But you know what, Bill? Out of 29 cars, it must be said that only 10 cars on the lead lap. So those are the only ones who are going to be inverted. The rest of them, starting with, I think, Luke White, are going to start where they finished here.
Director, let's go ahead and bring up the final standings. So we ran down the top 10. Let's go ahead and jump over to 11th, and we'll run down the entire field for you before we go to break. In the 11th spot, there you see all the top 10 that we just had done. Now in the 11th spot, going to be starting in 11th too when we regrid. That's Luke White, Stephen Chambers in 12th. Robert Sugar Plumley, 13th position behind him. The two-stop strategy, not sure what went on there. Adam McGuire. Lee Robinson and Jordi Lopez behind them. In 17th position, Alexander Valdo. Christopher, last but not leaster. 19th and 20th goes to Steve Cager and Dylan Hember. Richard, why don't you round out the rest of the field there?
Sure. And Christian Tkach finished in 21st place. Silvio Hurt in 27th place. Yannick Nienhuis, 4 laps down, finished in 23rd place. René Oostenkamp finished in 24th place. Evan Imre, who was doing so well early on, finished in 25th place, 11 laps down. Then Manuel Hauer in 26th place, 18 laps down. Jano Hertz finished in 27th place. 28th place went to Lawrence de Rijk, which is a very bad finish for him. He's a much better driver than that. And finally, in 29th place, Bill, it was odd Jonas Vilman.
Okay, Richard, I'm going to say goodbye to you for a minute while you go ahead and get set up for the next session. I'm going to do a little bit of interviews here while you're getting your hardware set up. Thanks for helping, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. What I want to do right now is bring in some of the drivers that were in this first race. Let's go ahead and bring in the man who almost got there. We're going to bring in Luke White.
No.
Luke,
Oh,
Luke, it's Soup's on here. You have time to do an interview with us here real quick?
I do. Sorry, I thought my mic wasn't working.
No,
you're used one of the other chips.
We got you. Well, I guess the worst thing that could happen to you is to be the lead car one lap down. You were so close to being on pole position for the sprint.
Yeah, you've just caught me drying my eyes. I was actually close to tears on the white lap that I had to let him by. So it's a nightmare, really.
You know, we were talking about it in the broadcast that it's a little bit of a different dynamic. Usually in a normal race, when you have the leader coming up on you with one lap to go, you'd let him gladly take that lap. But a little bit different here when you're looking at a pole position. That finishing one lap down is a big setback.
To be honest, I haven't even thought about that yet. I was pretty happy with my 11th. I was thinking about the reverse grid, but I didn't realise, or wasn't thinking they would have put me on pole. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, I know it's something we're all getting used to this format. Hey, well, congratulations. Go ahead, take a little break, get some water there, and how does the track feel while we got you out there? It seems kind of cool. Good grip out there.
First couple of laps, nightmare, and then it settles in really well. It's just about getting into a rhythm. So yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
How long did it take for the tires to feel good?
3-4 laps, and then you can
3-4
start
laps.
pushing. Yeah, and when you got like gaps between other drivers and stuff. So yeah.
All right, 11th position in the feature. Good luck to you, as we'll see you in just a few minutes for the sprint.
Thank you.
There we go. Luke White there, your 11th place finisher today. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in, let's get rid of Luke out of here so he doesn't listen to us. Let's see if we can bring in somebody who actually did finish on the lead lap here. Chambers just missed it. Who else is? Oh, here's a guy who had trouble. We have our winner. We'll talk to him in a minute. Let's bring in a guy who had some problems early. Lawrence DeReich down in 28th position. Lawrence, what happened? Oh, we don't have Lawrence with us here. Well, I can tell you what happened. He got into trouble. I believe he got T-boned. Not really the fault of to catch, but to catch T-boned him. To catch was able to limp home the best he can. Let's see if we can bring in our winner. It is the Earthquake. He picks up a win here in the feature race, gets the lion's share of the points, and I'm talking about Jeroen Quakel. Jeroen, congratulations. Pretty much wire to wire.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to push hard at the end because I wanted to try to lap as many cars as I really could. I was already thinking about the sprint race.
Yes.
And I think there's a rule where if you basically are a lapped car, you have to start behind the guy who finished in first of the feature race. I think that's right.
That is the rule.
Yeah, okay, so there we go. That's why I kept pushing really, really hard, trying to lap as many cars as I could, and that went reasonably well, I think.
Yeah, you were breaking the hearts of Luke White and Stephen Chambers and Robert Sugar Plumley, who had visions of starting on the pole, and little by little you were getting them at the end. Let me tell you, there's a Frenchman in here that looks pretty smooth. He's going to be starting one position ahead of you, and that's Jean-Francois Gaudin. He looks good. It's going to be rough starting back there. At least you're only in outside of row 5.
Yeah, you have to play it smart, I think. The first lap is always some kind of survival scenario with the cold tires as well and being in the midfield. So I hope that goes well. Sometimes you really need a bit of luck with it, but I hope that goes well.
Probably not familiar. You're probably not used to you with the talent that you have. You're probably not used to starting in 10th position on too many grids, are you?
Well, I mean, maybe not, but I think every driver should be able to perform best or well in any kind of circumstance.
Well, be careful back there. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Good luck to you in the short 25-minute sprint race that's coming up.
Thank you, sir, and good luck, and enjoy the race.
Thank you. And now we're going to bring in here, we're going to be in Lawrence DeReich. We talked to him earlier. Now we got Lawrence, who had trouble. He's one of my favorites. I keep expecting him to have a good result so far. This season, number 4, has not been going his way. Lawrence, another bad race for you.
Yeah, so
Whoops, one more time. You cut out for us here. You got loose and then you got collected there. The car was too damaged to keep going?
I missed the...
Whoops, he's dropping out. Speak right into the mic. You're just dropping out. We want to get this one more time. One more time, Lawrence.
I just missed the... overshot the corner, so yeah. My left rear hit the grass, and then yeah, I got grip again, and yeah, my car spun, and I think Christian to catch couldn't avoid me, and so he must have had damage from that. So real sorry for him. Ruined his race as well.
So sorry for him and for the commentators. One of the commentators, well, I'll be honest with you, me, I keep expecting to have a good result, and boy, what a bad start to the season so far.
Yeah, it's a really, really bad start. I hope to make up in the sprint race coming up. We've seen Gunnar. It's possible to move up the field, so let's hope we have a good run there.
All right, be very careful on those cold tires in the early laps, and then we'll watch you here. See if you can make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, I've learned from the last one, from that one, so I'll take it carefully. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for coming in and doing the interview. Okay, we'd like to spend more time with interviews, but honestly, we have some technical things we need to take care of before we go to the next event. So we're going to take a short break. Don't go far away. You have time to make yourself a quick snack, pour yourself a nice soda, put some ice in it, and we'll be back. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. You don't want to miss it. We got the 25-minute sprint race coming up. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0. This is season number 4, round 2 from Donington. Now, we're going to be looking at the sprint race. Remember, each round is a doubleheader. We just took care of the featured event, the 40-minute race that had one pit stop in it that was won by Jeroen, the Earthquake Quakel. And now we're coming back for the 25-minute sprint where they invert all the cars that finished on the lead lap. This is going to be exciting. I can tell you right now, I'm going to speak for Richard. We are here at GSRC, the commentators and director alike are smiling ear to ear because this is so much fun. We're learning along with you some of the intricacies of this new format. Let's go ahead and talk about the points, something we haven't had a chance to show you yet. Now, remember, there are 2 events that are here today, the featured race and the sprint race. Now, you can see in yellow, those are the points for the featured race, where the winner gets 32 points. We're on the sprint race right now. It's almost like 1/3 as much in points, 20 points to the winner this time, and it only pays down to 16th spot compared to the feature race that pays all the way down to 20th. And again, there is a 13X here, a 13 incident cap, so if they're off track 13 times, you're going to lose all of your points. So you can see that the lion's share, you really want to do well in that feature event, and that's what happened to Adam Tierney. I'm sorry, to our winner there, that was Jeroen Quakel. Now, Richard, you and I have started to realize that there's some track selection plays a big part in this event.
Absolutely. We are finding out that there are some interesting dynamics to this racing here. So, because they have 2 events and because of the inversion of the grid, first of all, Bill, it is vitally important to stay on that lead lap. That is your first priority. Stay on the lead lap. The second thing is, if you're the last car on the lead lap, you're going to be in pole position for the next race, which is this race now, the sprint race. Now, from the last race, there were only 10 cars that finished on the lead lap. So from the perspective of the winner of the feature race, he has only got 9 cars in front of him in a 29 car field. That is very important for his points perspective for this particular race, Bill.
Yeah, and one of the things that played in a huge effect at Watkins Glen in the sprint race for the unit Uni Silvasti was he was kind of like Moses at the Red Sea. There was a big crash in the opening lap of the sprint race, and the Red Sea parted, and it made his job to get from the front so much easier. I think there was about 17 or 18 cars that finished on the lead lap at the Glen. Don't have that here today. This will be very interesting. I can't wait to go look at the schedule and see if we have like tracks like Spa or other, maybe Le Mans. I mean, if you were at Le Mans, that would change the whole look at the sprint race, you know?
Yes, sir. It certainly will. Well, you know what? We can already tell you what the top, what the top 10. In fact, we could even tell you the whole grid right now, but we'll leave that for the moment. We can just tell you that Adam Tierney will be our pole sitter for this race.
Yes, we know, but unfortunately, our software will not allow us to put it on the screen for you. But the more I get into this, I am loving this, and you could hear in some of the interviews that we did during the break, if hopefully you stayed with us for those interviews, you could hear how the drivers were starting to get a feel for the format as well. I can't wait to see how these guys are after the New Year's, when we get back here in January and February, when everybody understands the intricacies of this format. It's going to be great. You could hear some of the guys talking how disappointed they were not to finish on the lead lap.
Yeah, that is correct. So we are currently doing a little bit of practice before the start of the next race. Of course, they don't have to do any qualifying. And there's about, what are we saying? There's only about 26 seconds left before the start of this race. So buckle up and get your seatbelts on as we see a spectacular crash there from Imre, deliberately done into the car in front to finish off the practice session for him.
One of the gifts that the series organizers give to the drivers here is they do not change the weather. They keep the same weather. It's based on the practice session on Thursday. It's a Friday here for me. I believe it's Saturday morning for Richard, but they keep the same weather settings for both the practice session on Thursday, then both races here, so they don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and run down the grid right now because we're going to be short on time with these standing starts, and as soon as I got it, there we go. Adam Tierney and Patrick Kessler on the front row. Ty McLeod and Knut Martinson. Watch out for him in row 2. Gunnar Nienhaus, not going to have to work so hard this time. Phil Reed rounding in 6th. Hugo Prado and Andy, the Milkman Cowie, in 7th and 8th. Rounding out row 5 is the Frenchman Jean-Francois Gaudin and Jeroen Quakel. Rich?
That's the winner. And so going very quickly, we got White and Chambers in the next row. Then down in row number 1 plus 10 is 11. We've got Chambers, we've got Plumley and Maguire. Then we've got Robinson and Lopez. Now, we haven't mentioned Lopez before. And then we've got Waldo and Leicester. That's, we're talking 17, 18, 19 and 20 place is Stephen Cagerer and Dylan Hamba.
Row 11, the man who had trouble, Christian Tkach, is back in the blackjack position. Silvio Hurt in the double deuce spot. 23rd and 24th goes to Yannick Nienhaus. That's the brother, Rin and Osterkamp in 24th. They're starting to rev up. Ermi, Hauer, Hertz, and Lawrence DeReich round out the field. You can hear them start to rev it up, gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn once again for the sprint race, leading them into the first corner. It is none other than your pole sitter, Adam Tierney.
And I'm going to be driving there.
Oh, another problem up front. It's big. Oh, car after car after car. They keep plowing in.
It's
deja vu.
Reed involved there. This is reminding me of what happened at Watkins Glen in this race, Bill.
We can tell you the drivers who are not involved. It looks like we have a new leader. It's Adam Tierney out in front. McLeod has survived. Gunnar Nienhaus running 1, 2, 3. Then it's a long way back to Kmart and Jeroen Quakel. Don't worry, we will get that event a little bit later. We'll come back and review that once things settle down. Hey, let's look at this battle for 7th if we can real quick. Oh, backing out of it is Maguire. I'm looking to see if our leader is involved. Plumley, I'm not seeing him. I think he must have been caught up in it because I'm looking, but I do not see the earthquake.
No, he's very much still there. Quakel is very much
Oh my
still
goodness. He is. I'm sorry, Rich. 5th end coming.
I've had he's in a battle here, let me tell you. But he's safe and he's just overtaken Martinson, Knut Martinson, and that was the battle for 4th place.
And there we're looking at McLeod. Yes, Ashley, the earthquake survived it. He was able to find a hole through it. McLeod spins right now. He falls back to 17th, 18th, 19th, about the 20th position. He brings it back out.
Bill, and a whole bunch of drivers. What a sad thing to see in the pits at the moment or getting repairs. I can tell you, I had my camera on our winner of the previous race, Jeroen Quakel. He went wide. He went off into the grass, but he did not get a scratch from that big accident.
Poor McLeod. He was running up front. He has fallen back. Remember, he was running in like 2nd position. All right, we're going to go to the start and watch this replay. We'll see if we can follow along with you here, do the best we can. They go through turn 1, and then I'll see if we can find out who that was that starts the whole problem off.
It's a car that got loose, and I'm not sure what the name is. We need to get that.
Let's stay on in a minute.
Director?
We're going to go on board with the leader. He was starting in 10th position, our winner of the first race. But watch as it parts. Oh, I got the guy who started it. Ugh. Sorry, he spanned away. We're going to find it for him. We're going to get a look. It started up front.
Imagine you are Quakel and you see this big accident in front of you and you're going, oh no! Here we go. We see them coming through this time from the front.
Patrick Kessler is who we're looking for.
Kessler!
He spun from about 3rd position. Sorry, Patrick. I hated to do the research there and put the blame on you, but you were the guy. Now, let me give Kessler a tip of the hat. Remember, he started on pole last time and did not have that problem. He did a great job from starting on pole in the sprint race back in Watkins Glen. Not so lucky this time. All right, let's go to the read right now. This is Tierney. He's being challenged by Gunnar. Gunnar on the inside is going to get that done. That looks like it might have been is that what they call the old hairpin? I'm not really sure. I think.
Yeah.
Nope.
That is it.
And now they go up through. Now they're working through the S's here into this series. This is a good pass up here. Then they work down this back half of the track. I believe this is the old hairpin here. Nope. You were right, Rich.
No, you're right the first
Got it.
time, Bill.
Now they come around, coming straight at us. Here's our familiar
new
shot from Dougie Beard, our new leader, Gunnar Nienhaus.
Yes, and he is followed by Adam Tierney in second place. There's only a small gap between them, and then in third place,
Bad news
our
for them.
winner from the previous race, Bill, Jeroen Earthquake Quakel. And then, of course, we've got Martinson in fourth place, but he's a long way back. And then Adam Maguire bringing up the fifth place at the moment. Now, we wanted to talk about Jean-Francois Godin, and he is indeed in sixth place. Then we've got Luke White in seventh place, just running him down for you, Bill. Robert Plumley in eighth place. Ninth place, Jordi Lopez. We never mentioned him at all in the last race. And 10th place, and I'll leave it there, Stephen Chambers.
Let's go ahead and update you on some of the drivers up front that had trouble. Hugo Prado got caught up in the big one. He's not in the race anymore. He started 7th position, 6th position. Phil Reed, my goodness. Phil cannot get a break so far. He's caught up in it again. And the Milkman. The Milkman started 8th. Prado started 7th, and Phil Reed started 6th. All those guys caught up in the first event.
Gonna break in. He has a battle for 10th place. Christian to catch. As they go into the hairpin, into the chicane, to catch, wanting to take that position from Stephen Chambers. Didn't get it done there. Now he goes to the outside. He's going to try as they approach turn number 1. And battling with him is Stephen Chambers. Stephen Chambers kind of gives it up there. Not quite. He's just braked early. And here comes to catch going past another driver there. And that was Chambers also going past it. That was Yannick Nienhaus.
That's the other Nienhaus. That's, I believe, the younger brother of Gunnar. That's Stephen Chambers running in 11th. Now, one of the things we're also getting familiar with, remember, to catch is a great driver. He just caught up into trouble in the featured race and got pushed to the back. So he's going to make his way through. He's running in 10th right now. Let's move up 2 spots to 8th position. The driver that we don't pay much attention to, Jordi Lopez, running in 8th right now, being challenged by Sugar Plumley. And not far ahead of them is Luke Wright. This is the battle for 7th. Wright, Lopez, and Plumley.
Yeah, good battle going on there. Meanwhile, just having a quick look at Jeroen Quakel. He's got about 5 seconds off the lead at the moment, trying to get the hammer down to try and catch up to the other podium getters. Gunnar Nienhaus is our leader at the moment. He is looking really good. I want to put the mockers on him, but he is looking good in the early stages of this sprint race. 1.8 seconds in the lead at the moment, Bill.
Let's go to 4th position. Kmart is in trouble. Knut Martinson. He is being challenged by the Frenchman, Jean-Francois Goulin, making his move there as Goulin trying to make his way through the field. Remember, he started in 9th position, 1 spot ahead of our featured race winner.
And this is a good battle here. This Jean-Francois is trying to catch him. They hit down now towards the chicane to finish off lap number 7. He's closing as they go into the chicane now. What sort of run will he get out of the chicane? Very important to get a good run there. You got defense from Martinson.
Look at that defensive line.
Outside.
That's perfectly good. I like the way that Kmart took a straight line there. He took the inside, he committed to it. I don't like it when they take that inside line then read that. Right now, though, look at this. Here comes the Frenchman. Jean Frankie making his move on the inside. Is he going to get it done? Nope. Now the preferred position goes back to Kmart. They fight time. Look at the momentum from... Oh, nice job from Godin. And Kmart's going to lose the position to Maguire.
That was a really good run. That was the old hairpin, Bill, where he made the pass, and it is very tough to pass through there. And kudos to Martinson. He was very aware of where Godin was, and he gave it up at the right moment there, so not to cause any problems for both of them.
So we look on that. The car in the middle is Adam Maguire, and he's got to be happy because there are no pit stops in this sprint race for him to worry about. Not sure why he took that early stop. There could have been damage. You know, maybe if you could come in and give us an interview after this sprint race, we'd like to find out what the strategy was right there. But now what's going on? It should be noted that look at 3rd position. It is Jeroen Quakel. He's not been able to run down Adam Tierney as fast as I thought he was. But the guy who...
Yeah, Bill, I've been looking at that as well, and in fact, it's a little the pedestrian is the word I'm looking for up front. But the action is here in fourth, fifth, and sixth place. As you look now from Adam Maguire, having a look at Godin, he wants that fourth position, and they go into the right-hander there. This is a beautiful corner. Love that corner, and let's see if Maguire can catch up to Godin.
Back there running in sixth, you can see the last one. That's Kmart there, Knut Martinson. Interesting thing about Martinson, he's the driver who owns the most career points without a race win. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen for him yet again today. Let's go up to second, because now Tierney has been ran down by Jeroen Kwekel. Kwekel's going to make short work of this now that he's caught him.
Now that's amazing. Kwekel was 4 seconds back, only a couple of laps, and now there he's challenging for that second position. Takes it easily, going down into the old hairpin. It seems like a favorite overtaking place there, Bill.
So now you get that done. Let's go ahead and put the camera on our leader, Gunnar Nienhaus. Check his luggage for stolen towels, because he has checked out. But I think the hotel private detective is on the case. Here comes Jeroen Kwekel now. He's got nobody between him and Nienhaus. That interval, let's give you the gap right now. 4.6. Here we are with 14 minutes left to race.
That's right, 4.6 seconds. No pit stops in this race. It is called a sprint race, and that's the reason why. No pit stops at all. So Gunnar Nienhaus, our leader at the moment, he has to stay ahead of Jeroen Kwekel in second place. He's got 4.5 seconds to the good in order to do that. Adam Tierney will have a say in this battle. He is in third place. He has lost that spot to Kwekel. And Bill, look at Kwekel disappearing down the road from Adam Tierney. Went very wide there.
And as we look at Kwekel going off, we also have a spin from Yannick Nienhaus also had a spin. Oh, Godin had a spin. We'll see if we can find that.
Yes, I'm on with Jean-Francois Godin now. He's just coming back onto the track. He has lost multiple positions.
You know what? Yeah, we can get that on. He was in a battle with Maguire. He got together with Maguire. We'll go above on this one. Maguire was able to get a run on him. Am I wrong? Maguire was ahead. Didn't Godin?
There's another car off the track there as well. Is that Godin? There they are, both of them together, going into the corner. Looks like there's a slight touch there. Two cars off the track. I don't think the other car was involved. I think that car was already off the track.
Yeah, what has happened? We missed it. Is that Maguire actually got around Godin. Remember, Godin got around Maguire, and then Maguire got that spot back. Then they were fighting again. That battle had been going on for about 3/4 of a lap. So now Godin back to 14th position. And how did 14th. And where has Maguire gone to? Maguire has fallen back to 6th, so both of those guys suffer. And now I want to take you to 9th position right now, because here he comes. This is to catch has got around. Yeah, I was wanting to get there earlier, but we didn't get there in time. He got around Osterkamp. He got around Robert Sugar Plumley to catch up to 8th position.
And there's a battle going on here. Luke White involved with Maguire. Maguire seems to be going backwards, Bill. He was much further up. He was in 3rd or 4th place, and he's just lost position after position. He's now in 6th place. He's looking good. He's going to try fighting back here in turn number 1, and looks like he's going to get that done on Luke White. So he was overtaken prior to turn 1, and now he's making a comeback. And now, once again, Luke White trying to take the position back for him. So a good battle going on here, and that is 5th and 6th place we're looking at.
Luke gave him a little hello from the nose there. You got to be a little
6th
careful.
and 7th, sorry.
Yeah. A little careful with these Formula Renaults. They don't like too much bumping.
No, like all open wheel cars, the contact is something you want to avoid at all costs. So Luke White now behind Maguire. Maguire going ahead there in that 6th place, Maguire. Now in front of them, Bill, we've got a driver called Jordi Lopez. Now, we didn't mention him in the first race. I don't even know if he was in the first race. I don't think so. But here he is. He's sitting in 5th place, and he looks to me as if he's running down Martinson at this point.
Let's go ahead, take a second, and run down your top 10. We can all take a deep breath, take a sip of your beverage that you have next to you. Your leader, Gunnar Nienhuis, 4.1 seconds. Remember, it was 4.6 when I talked to you last. Quakel in second. He's got 3.5 seconds back to Tierney. Tierney doing a good job. He started on the pole, still on the podium right now. He's got 7 seconds back to Kmart, who is beginning to fall. Now, Kmart is in the clutches of the driver that Richard just talked about, Jordi Lopez. He's running in 5th right now. Lopez trying to do better than that. Adam Maguire, he is Mr. Excitement, whether it be in pit lane or on the track, running in 6th right now. Luke White running in 7th, and then rounding out your top 10, Christian Tketch.
No, he's in 8th place. Tketch in 8th place.
White.
9th. Go ahead.
I believe White's in 7th. Tketch is in 8th. Osterkamp is in 9th. And then in 10th, Robert Plumley. And there's your top 10.
That's it. That is indeed the top 10.
We got it.
If you look at Osterkamp here, here's the battle right here from Osterkamp. In front of Osterkamp, we have Tketch. And then in front of Tketch is Luke White. So there's a good battle going on here. And that is for 9th, 8th, and 7th place. At the moment, they single file. So let's go and have a look at Jordi Lopez. Jordi Lopez has been running down Knut Martinson. And Martinson, in turn, may be running down Adam Tierney. So here's going to be a big battle. And this is for the last podium spot, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the lap car they're getting around there. Good job from him. That was Silvio Hurt. Nice job from Silvio. Scared me there a little bit, Silvio, but you did perfect.
Yeah, he actually had a big bobble there. Now we've got the battle here. Jordi Lopez. I like this guy. He is doing a fantastic job right here. And he's coming up. Knut Martinson is going to try it on in turn 1, and gets the job done, no problem.
Martinson kind of took a real medium line there, not really defensive, not really aggressive on the outside, just right in the middle. It was probably the worst case scenario. He left himself a real shallow entrance into the corner, but again, didn't predict the inside. So Lopez gets the job done, moves up to 4th, Kmart back to 5th.
Yep, and we should spell his name out correctly. It's Jordi Lopez Jr. And Jordi, and let's go and have a look. I want to see where he's from, so that we can call his country of origin. It looks like he's from New Jersey. He is American.
That's not going to help us, is it?
American.
That's the problem with us in the States. We get all you guys over here.
Okay, so that was Jordi Lopez Jr. Now, Adam Tierney is still in our 3rd place, so that puts him on the podium. Let's check in with Jeroen Quakel. Has he made any time up on Gunnar Nienhuis? Looks like he has.
It's down to 3.7. I don't know if he has. With only 7 minutes left, I think it could be a classic case of too little, too late. Gunnar out there just kind of managing the gap right now. I think the guy we got to watch out for is Adam Maguire, currently running in 6th position as he's trying to get around Martinson.
Yeah, I've got to, before we get to the next race, I think I need to study the tactics that these guys can do. Because of the 2-race format and the grid inversion, it seems to me there's a lot of different ways to approach the first and the second race. At the moment, of course, Quakel has done a fantastic job. He's going to have a really good Christmas as far as his sim racing.
Let's look at this battle for P10. Here he comes. This is the Frenchman trying to make up for the mistake, working around Stephen Chambers right now. Chambers, last car in the top 10.
Talking about Godin?
Godin in 11th position. And now Chambers takes a kind of defensive line. He forces Godin. Look at Godin going to do a little hokey-doke, a little dipsy-do, a little up and under.
And here comes Jean-Francois on the inside. They go down towards the left-hander. They're side by side. Now they come to the old hairpin. And again, the favorite overtaking place. And Godin gets it. No, he doesn't.
Chambers fights back.
Yes, indeed. Great job.
Wow.
Great job, Chambers. Godin did not have it his own way.
I was with you on that one, Richard. I was ready to mark it on my score sheet here. The pass was made. Now let's go to P5. We're going to look at this battle again. This is, Maguire has gotten around Knut Martinson. We knew that was going to happen. Now, but I don't think Knut's out of the woods yet, because here comes another hard charger, and that's Christian to catch.
And stay with the battle as well for Jean-Francois Godin. He's not out of contention for that spot yet. Luke White, now let's see how Luke White defends turn number 1. You can't go too close to the inside there, because you've got to give yourself room for the turn. Right. It's a high-speed corner. And I take my hat off to Luke White. He's done some fantastic defense here.
I think you just misidentified. I think that's Chambers there. Stephen Chambers ahead of
Chambers.
Yeah, that's okay.
My apologies.
White running just ahead of these guys in 9th position. Now, here we go. There he comes.
On the inside now, but Chambers has the line once again to the hill, and he's going to make it ahead of Godin. So there's sections of the course where one is good, and then sections of the course where the other is good. So this battle is worth keeping an eye on as we go forward.
Passing Stephen Chambers is like milking a rooster. The hard part starts after you catch him. Right now, Godin has nowhere to go.
Yeah, good battle. Very good battle. Okay, let's check in. Where is Lopez at the moment? Lopez seems to be in 4th place. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah,
that's Tierney.
It's a little bit back to 6th.
Yeah, Maguire far behind Lopez now, so looks like the position seems to
here
be
comes
settled.
look at 6th position. Here comes Catch. Going to make that move on the outside. He's a coming, and one more spot back. It's Knut drops back into 7th.
Yeah, that was a really nice textbook pass there. Now he's got a chance to catch Adam Maguire in front of him that does the catch. Can he do it? There's only 4 minutes left, and with these guys doing really quick laps, 1 minute and 2 seconds, that we're looking at about 4 or 5 laps left in this race.
Let's go to 10th position, because the plot has thickened a bit. Chambers, with all of his defensive driving, has brought in Plumley now into the mix. Here comes the Frenchman now on the outside, but that's not going to work through the chicane, and Godin has to back out, and look at Plumley. He's going to get a good drive out of that final corner of the chicane, and he's going to have the preferred position down onto the inside. I believe Sugar Plumley might be able to take over 10th spot here. Let's watch as they go in. Yeah, sure enough, Plumley gets it.
Yes, he did. And in front of him now, Chambers. Chambers was defensive, looking at the scenario behind him. But now he's got to think about fending off Plumley, not Jean-Francois Godin anymore. So this is becoming very interesting, this battle for 10th place. And Godin has not given up at all. He's still in there battling as they go through the right-hander. And now they head up the hill towards another right-hander.
Here comes Plumley.
Great job from Plumley, looking to take that position away from Chambers. He's got it at the moment, but we've seen Chambers fight back.
I feel it coming. Is he going to back out, or is he going to make it 3 wide? Oh, he's going to back out. The Frenchman uses, they get wider. Look at Plumley gets the position. Our director and I were both saying, now Plumley is loose. He's going to lose those 2 spots.
Oh, he has it. Chambers is fought back, and now Plumley loses 2 positions, and that you can count that because of the fact that he hit the high curb there, Bill.
Our director and myself gave out simultaneous there.
Oh no!
Jinx, buy me a Coke.
Still on.
Here comes, I think he might have the momentum. Chambers is going to really have to work, but I think on the outside he gets it done. Chambers gets loose, going out under the grass. Don't collect him. He does collect him. And Plumley gets into the back of Chambers. They get together. Going by him is De Rijk, who's going to pick up that position. You could just feel it coming. Mama, I know it's fun until somebody ends up crying.
Yeah, look, Plumley, I don't know what the IRT will say to that, but Plumley was way off track, trying to just bulldoze his way through there, and it went wrong, and he hit the car in front of him, and they both suffered because of that.
Okay, let's catch our breath. That was a great battle while it lasted. Let's go ahead and update you up front. The interval from Gunnar Nienhuis back to Jeroen Kwekel is 3.8 seconds. It's not changing much at all.
And Nienhuis, there's only 1 minute left, so Nienhuis will get the white flag next time by, or is it this time? No, it'll have to be another lap before he gets the white flag. So
Yep.
we're on the penultimate lap at the moment.
With lap times of about 1.1 minute 2, he crossed the line with about 1 minute 4. He's going to get one more lap around. No worries, he's got plenty of fuel here. So he'll get around. It looks like unless Martians attack Donington, it looks like Gunnar Nienhuis is going to get the victory. But we don't want to do to him too much yet. Anything can happen. Quakel going to finish in second.
Let's see if we can find ourselves a battle here. Anything happening with the catch? No, he's can't catch up. Martinson, nope. It looks to be like they're all settled down.
We're going to drop
Let's go
back to
further back.
17th position is what I'm hearing from our director. He's found a good one. This is, hey, somebody we
Plumlee
haven't
again.
talked about yet. Jarno Hertz in 17th position. Oh, look at this. This is Hertz and then Emre running behind him. Oh, and they're about to be lapped. Let's go ahead and stay on this because our leader's going to be involved in this one as the leader's going to take the white flag this time. Now Gunnar back there watching those two cars going side by side. He's got 3.5 seconds to play with. And look at that, getting out of the way. Give him a bear claw at the next Backmarkers United meeting for Emre. Good job from him.
Yep, and Nienhuis now coming up on Emre. So Emre, am I on replay? I'm sorry, I was not on live at the moment. So, but it doesn't change it. Emre is still ahead of our leader of this race. You always want to pause and hold your breath when your leader's coming up on a slower car, Bill. But good job there from Emre, just gave it up. And our leader, who is on the white flag lap by the looks of it. So back to you, Bill. This is going to be a good win for Nienhuis.
Emre and Hertz do a good job of letting the leader go by. I don't think they're going to have to worry about the second place driver. He's not going to get there. Working his way through the final chicane, winning the sprint race, round number 2 from Donington in the Apex Online Racing. Gunnar Nienhuis. Second place goes to the Earthquake, Jeroen Quakel.
Yes, indeed. And looks as if third place will go to Adam Tierney, just finishing now, crossing the line in a matter of moments. Then a drive from Jordi Lopez, who I really like that drive of his. He finishes up in fourth place. And rounding out the top 5, it is Adam Maguire, Bill.
We'll just go ahead and finish this. They come across the line to catch. Knut Martinson started 4th, drops back to 7th. Rene Oosterkamp going to get 8th position. Luke White coming across in 9th. And rounding out your top 10. Well, we saw him make a charge, but he just couldn't to get there after the mistake there. Going to finish inside the top 10, and that's Jean-Francois Gaudin.
Yeah,
other cars. Let's go ahead. Other cars on the lead lap, Rich. 11th.
Yeah, just looking at that, it looks like Lawrence de Rijk finished up in 11th. Then Yannick Nienhuis, Ty McLeod, Stephen Chambers. Last car on the Alexander Waldo in 15th. Last car was the 16th place on the lead lap, and that was Stephen Cagerer.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break. We'll get ourselves all organized. We'll come back and run down the entire standings for you, do driver interviews, and close up shop. Okay, this is another break, but don't go far. We won't be long. Global Sim Racing Channel back in a few. If I could wipe this ear-to-ear smile off my face, I can do the rest of this post-race show. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault 2.0 season number 4. This was round 2 from Donington. And man, what a great series and how exciting it was. We just finished up our 25-minute sprint race. Let's run down the entire standings for you. Starting on the grid spot number 5, making his way to the checker flag first, was Gunnar Nienhaus. Jeroen Quagle started back in 10th position, going to get the runner-up spot. Adam Tierney started on the pole, going to finish on the lowest podium. That would be 3rd. Great run from Jordi Lopez, the American driver, in 4th. Adam Maguire, without any pit stops to worry about, was able to bring it home in the top 5. Great run from 21st. Had trouble in the feature race. Christian to catch. Going to finish in 6th. Knut Martinsen started 4th. Going to finish up in 7th position, right ahead of Rene Oosterkamp. Luke White and Jean-Francois Gondin round out the top 10. Richard?
Yeah, and quite exciting racing that we saw in the second sprint race here. Lawrence de Rijk finished up in 11th place. Then in 12th place is with Yannick Nienhaus. In 13th place, Ty McLeod. 14th place, Stephen Chambers, who also gave us some exciting racing. In 15th place, Alexander Waldo. And last but not least, on the lead lap, finishing up in 16th place, Stephen Cagerer. Then we go to the cars who were laps down, and Evan Imre, who was doing well early on in this race, finished a lap down in 17th place. Jarno Hertz finished in 18th place, also 1 lap down. Dylan Hamber in 19th place, 1 lap down. And in 20th place, Patrick Kessler, also 1 lap down. Bill?
Hitting Blackjack Manuel, Hauer, Christoph Leister going to finish in the double deuce position. Robert Plumley saw some excitement up front, had a nice battle going on, but then it ended up in tears. Is going to be in 23rd position. Silvio Hurt in the double dozen spot. Hugo Prado in the quarter century mark. Lee Robinson, 26th. 27th and 28th go to Phil Reed. And the Milkman in 28th position, Adam Cowley. And I believe he's the last car to take the grid. Okay, we're going to do our driver interviews right now. We're going to bring in one of the guys who's responsible for organizing this series, and that is Knut Martinsen. We call him Kmart. Started in 4th position, came home in 7th. Knut, I don't know. I know as a series organizer, you're probably not happy with another crash on the opening lap of the sprint race, but I'm telling you, what a great series. How exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for the compliments. Obviously, as you said, yeah, not good to see crashes. That's kind of what you want to not see at all times as an organizer. But for me in the race, it obviously helped me quite a bit because actually it's quite funny because in the sprint race, I accidentally ran wide on the first corner, completely unrelated to the incident. And yeah, actually I ended up avoiding it as a result. So it's kind of surprised when I rejoined the track and there was no one there.
Yeah, I know there's probably going to be lots of talks about the format. As far as GSRC is concerned, our suggestion would be simply stop crashing. That would be because it's such a great format.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully the drivers that have been involved will take that to heart. Obviously, it's so easy to do though when you get so many cars together, and all it takes is just one guy to make a small mistake, and it could be quite a big chain effect. But
and the cold tires too. It takes a while to get those warmed up in this car, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, exactly. We've had pretty extreme cold weather in both the first 2 races. I guess the morning, day or time kind of makes it happen more often than not. But yeah, it definitely is quite tricky on the start, and that obviously probably contributes as well to that.
Well, for you, a pretty good points race for you, both inside the top 10. I think probably a 6th in the feature, and then a 7th here. That's got to help.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm very happy with the results. I feel like basically in both races I was a little bit out of position in terms of pace because it felt like every battle I ended up in, the other guy had a bit of a pace advantage. But so it was quite hard to defend at times. But overall, it was good consistency that got me some good points.
Well, I'll let you go on this. I didn't put it in my notes, but my memory tells me that you were the answer to the trivia question for the driver with the most points without a win. I think we can get a new answer to that question before the season's over. What do you say?
Ooh, I would love nothing more. It's going to be very hard, but well, I'll try.
And before I let you go, congratulations on a good turnout today. Both everyone off mic, we're talking. You get 29 drivers here 2 days before Christmas. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting, more in the lower 20s, to be honest. But yeah, very good to see a lot of people coming.
Well, thanks for the race. Good luck to you coming up. Do you, off the top of your head, do you know where we're going next? I don't have it in my notes. It's Okayama.
Yeah.
That's right, the full one. Okay.
Thanks for the save there.
All right. Well, Canute, congratulations. We'll see you next time, okay?
All right, see you guys.
Have a good Christmas. There we go. Seventh right now in the sprint race today, Canute Martinson. Okay, Richard, who do you want to talk to?
I think we'll bring Stephen Chambers in. He was very exciting to watch in this race.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Stephen Chambers had a great battle. The results, he's probably not going to be happy with his 14th position, but he put on quite a show. Go ahead, Rich.
Hi, yeah, Stephen, we certainly enjoyed watching you in this race, doing battle with some of the guys around you and refusing to give up that spot. How was your race? Did you enjoy racing it, or were you just fighting to hang in there?
I loved it. This is the best thing ever. And you'll be glad to know I will fight for literally everything, which probably annoys some of their more experienced and faster drivers. I'm sure I'm not Godin's biggest fan right now, but I had a blast.
Well, that's right. You're racing as just as anybody else. So, I want to talk a little bit. You finished up here in 14th place, so not in the top 10 and not in the major points, but you obviously sound like you're enjoying the series. So let's talk a little bit about that. Do you like the format, a long race with a pit stop and then a short sprint race? How do you like the format?
Oh, this is the best thing for us. For me personally, I'm probably back end of the grid, and I think in a long race where really only it's fuel strategy, you end up with the same guys. You've got your pace, and then that's it, and you just keep going and going and going and going and going. So the gaps just get bigger, whereas this allows people to get a bit more mixed up. And it's like in a feature race. I said to Luke in the race, I said, if you get run on me, I'm not going to fight you because your own's coming and I don't want to get lapped. So I was willing to sacrifice that position then for a better chance for the sprint race.
Yeah, because of course in the sprint race, the second race of every event, the grid is inverted. So there's a real challenge to stay on the lead lap at all costs as well. And in fact, it's quite interesting to us commentators here looking at, I don't think you guys are actually deliberately strategizing that way, but when you see a guy towards the rear of the field but still on the lead lap, he's going to be up front in the second race.
Yeah, you just go into it and for the feature race, and you just go as fast as you can, and then towards the end of the race, you see that red name appear on your relative, and then it's, I need to go quicker now, and I'm looking at how long there are left in the race, and I'm thinking, there's 8 minutes, okay, he's 16 seconds behind, he's about 2 seconds a lap faster, he's probably going to be right on me, and I'll have Luke right behind me, and there's someone else right behind him, and I'm getting stressed about it, because there's no need, but I'm planning ahead, thinking, okay, what would I rather have, more points, or a better position for the sprint? Better position for the sprint. So I wasn't going to let Luke through, but I'm not going to get out of it for him. I don't want to lose time fighting him.
Yeah. Well, look, you're obviously loving the series, loving the car, loving everything about racing here. So congratulations. Keep coming back. We will be talking to you some more if we can. And Bill, sounds like we got a really excited driver here and loves the format, and we do as well.
You gotta love that interview. We're gonna bring him in as often as we can. That's what we like. A little passion when we bring it into the interview booth. All right, I guess we're gonna talk to our. Do we want to talk to who do you want, Director? You have any suggestions here? Do you want? Okay, let's go ahead. We'll bring in Phil Reed. I don't know if I can bring myself to talk to Phil again. Let's see what kind of result. Oh, gee, I'm looking. Phil, man, it's just not happened for you this season.
No, it is not.
Okay. I thought
No.
there were moments, there were glimpses of success that you were having this time, but it keeps going south on you.
Yeah, well, I actually finished a race which was Very good. First race was actually very, very enjoyable. Had some nice battles. There was some nice battles with my teammate, which was very good. Had a few mistakes in there. Sprint race, however, I made it about as far as I did last week.
Yep, I did. Yep. Where were you involved in that one? Did you have a chance, or was it just there's nowhere to go?
No chance, nowhere to go. Patrick spun ahead on the grass, turn one, came across, I couldn't avoid it. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes, but it's fine. I get to watch you guys.
Well, as far as us in the booth, we would prefer that you didn't crash, but I tell you here at GSRC, we are so in love with the format that we hope our suggestion is simply stop doing it. Stop crashing on the first lap.
Not a bad suggestion, I'll talk to everyone. I'll get them to calm down. No, it's just one of those things. I think it's more difficult for these first two races because they are quite cold sessions,
Right.
Tires don't warm up too quick, you expect mistakes so early in the season as well. I think next week it should be a bit better. It's a track that I think people have driven quite a lot, being a free track, so should be good, hopefully. It's afternoon weather as well, so not as cold.
Can you explain to me why you seem to get caught up in it, but somehow it doesn't seem to collect Quakel and Nienhaus and the other guys? They seem to manage to get through.
I'd like to put it down to them having better reactions than me, but honestly, it's just unfortunate. Sometimes you just can't avoid it. It's just very, very sad situation. But again, I'm happy that everyone else doesn't get caught up in it. So that's good.
All right, well, it's a long season. There are only two in there. You got two drop races. Let's just throw this in. Here's the trick. Just don't miss any out from here. Hey, I thought you weren't going to be here today.
I wasn't originally, but oh well. I thought I'd just come in and crash.
There you go. Hey, great to have you. Good luck. Good luck the rest of the way, Phil.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for what you do. Bye.
Former champion Phil Reed, unable to get any momentum so far. I'm getting information from the director. Are we going one more, or are we calling it a day? Richard, you want to talk to one more here? Why don't we talk? Let's go ahead and we'll close up. We'll put the book in. Why don't we bring in Jeroen and you can wrap up with him.
Okay. Jeroen, another great finish for you there. Second place from 10th place. Tell us a little bit about that first lap melee. Were you expecting that to happen? It looked like you were ready, and obviously you avoided by going out into the weeds there. But did you expect something like that, and you were ready for it, or did it catch you by surprise?
To expect it is a big of a big word, I would say. But as you said, you are always a little bit prepared for it. Anything can happen, of course, when so many cars are around each other in the first lap, first turn. So you don't really expect it, of course. At least you hope it's going to be safe, but there's a good chance that something goes wrong. And if it does go wrong, then you have a bit of a chain reaction, especially when it happens up front, which we have seen twice now, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, with a first place finish in the first race and second here, and no show from what's his name? Silvasti, yes. Yeah. That should put you for the moment at the top of the leaderboard, so you should be happy about that.
Yeah, I am, but honestly, I would like to keep both feet on the ground because I think today could have panned out a lot differently if Silvasti was there. He's always a very, very fast guy, a very fair guy as well in terms of racing respect. So I must say that, if Silvasti was here, it could have been a different day for me as well. And I have to realize that and keep on improving in order to beat Silvasti the next time.
Richard, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah. Let me just before you do, let me just say, well said, Jeroen. I really appreciate that. It's not just about racing and winning. It's about respect for your fellow competitors and all that sort of thing. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I could. Let me ditto your remarks on that one. That was really well said. I agree. Jeroen, I had notes that you were not going to be here. Did I get misinformation? I thought you were going to miss this race.
No, then you
No.
got
Okay, you were always
yes.
planning to do it. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely. I never said that I wouldn't do it, so I don't know where you got that from.
Yeah, I had some typing from some of the people who mentioned your name as one of the drivers that weren't going to be able to make it. We're glad you were. The C's part for you once again on that big one. You're back there in 10th, and is there a strategy for you to be able to get through those? It's the second week in a row that you were able to manage it.
Luck.
I would actually say it is a bit down to luck as well, yes. Because in this example, I was on the outside lane into turn 1. But if you were on the inside, you would have been collected anyway, basically. If not because of the guys in front of you, then it would have happened from the rear because you would have smashed on the brakes and someone would run into your back, so to say, into your gearbox.
Right.
So yeah, it is a bit of luck, but you need good spatial awareness in a sense as well, I think, in these kind of situations.
A little bit of luck, a little bit of talent, that'll go a long way for you. Hey, congratulations, Jeroen, on the I think we're going to call it the overall victory today as far as the points go.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's the way I see it as well. And congratulations to you to, I assume, another fantastic broadcast. You guys are doing an awesome job, so I take my hat off.
Oh, thank you.
We do our best. Okay, Richard, any final thoughts from you there before we bring it home?
No, sir. I'm going to say that I echo your thoughts that this is an extremely enjoyable series, and bring it on at Okayama next week.
Yeah, here at GSRC, we always try to bring our A game to the broadcast. But I have to be honest with you, when it comes to Friday mornings here in my time, I just cannot wait to get up and broadcast this series. It's great racing. It's great fun. I get to work with my partner, Richard Losper, so it's outstanding. We'd like to thank everybody here at Apex Online Racing for organizing the Formula Renault 2.0 League and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music you heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. Hey, you need to do some last-minute Christmas shopping? Go ahead, see how to contact them, download some of their digital music, and give it as a gift. They would appreciate it, and so would the receiver of the gift. The AOR returns next week, December 30th. That's going to be New Year's Eve for round 3, a late afternoon event from the big course at Okayama. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including dates and times of upcoming broadcasts, or to find archived broadcasts, or to arrange GSRC to broadcast a race of your own, your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And now, before we close up shop, on behalf of my mic mate Richard Losper, our director Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, we'd like to thank all of you for watching and wish you the happiest of holidays. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.